the first year teaching. I'm failing. I'm failing because I'm trying to figure out why is it these young men in my class are not doing the work. It wasn't that they were having a hard time with the mathematics, it was that they were not even trying. And so I invited some young men to lunch. I said, you know what? I'll invite you to lunch once a week. I'll pay for lunch. Exchange for lunch, teach me how to be a better teacher. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll fix it.
Happy holidays, folks. We're glad to be with you. You know, today we decided to do a flashback, throwback, recap. We decided to show you some information about our work and the work that we've been doing for years to transform lives of young people. And we're going to share with you here one of my TED Talks. I am really excited about this journey that I've had with the TED organization. And, you know, total, I've done 4 TED Talks. The first one was done at Marin Academy. It was a student-run production, which was really beautiful, at Marin Academy High School. And there was the situation where after the talk, you know, I felt the talk went really well. We were waiting for the publication, and then we found out through the channels that the mics had not been turned on. So all of the recordings had been recorded, video, no sound. And so luckily on that one of my students was sitting in the audience, and he recorded. So it's an interesting angle, it's an interesting sound, but it's a recording that we were able to put up out in the world. That was really beautiful. My second TED Talk happened in San Diego, which was another experience that we'll tell you more of the story later. But that recording never made the light of day. We don't know what happened to it. I had thought I had somebody recording it in the audience, but I don't remember what happened. So that one never happened. That was a youth event, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful setup. What a beautiful setup in San Diego. And then I had the last 2, one in Marin. That was the first big one that actually made it to the TED website and all of those things. That was a really beautiful talk when we began to really talk in a really clear way about these masks and about the mask movement. What a powerful conversation that was. And TEDx Oakland, which was hometown, that was a really powerful season. It was around the time of the fires in Oakland, 2018. And there was such a interesting energy in the air of people coming out and talking and people wearing masks in those conversations. So these are the 4 opportunities that I've had to be able to tell stories and build up opportunity for the word to get out about our work. I think that, you know, if I was more courageous, sometimes I would have posted more of these things online. I think sometimes I've made so many videos on my phone, just, you know, with me looking at the phone and me just talking to the phone. And then I'm like, that's not too good. And then I will hold it back. And since I don't have anybody like blocking that negative thought, then it doesn't get posted. And in my phone, if I could, I don't know if I can even show you how many videos I have in my phone. If I go to the albums and you look at videos, I don't know if you can see it. There's a place where you can see videos. I think you can. I don't know if you can. Let me see if I can show it to you. Okay. Just here we go. I'm going to get close. You may not even be able to see this. We may not even use this, but let me just show you videos. You can see that number there. Probably not meant for you to see it anyway. It's too big. That's 22,905. That's not all videos of me making them myself. It's just videos that are there, but lots of them are. Oh, so you can look at the selfies. Actually, that'll tell you a bigger number. Selfies. Is it embarrassing to say this number? I don't even know. Like, they're selfies. That gotta be a mistake, but it's not. You know, I mean, I don't delete stuff, so it's just multiples of a bunch of stuff. Anyway, let's leave that. That's an outtake. I'll be using that. But nonetheless, what I've done is I've made all these videos, sometimes thinking, I got something I want to say, and then I'll overthink it. I'll let my fear and worry and all of these self-doubt kind of get in the way. And so over this next season, I'm going to be bringing a lot of these videos back, things that I was thinking I wanted to help people with. And sometimes I would be like, no, I don't think it's good enough. that overthinking, sometimes over perfectionism, that idea. But this season and today, you're going to get to hear one of these TED Talks. And I'm so excited because I think that what you will hear in it is a journey of not only our work, the journey of not only the Ever Forward Club, the journey of me as an educator, but the journey of really trying to set a vision out in the world to help change lives. That's what it's about. So today, we're going to let you hear my TED Talk at TEDx Marin, which was my first big TED Talk in a beautiful stadium, it's not stadium, in a beautiful auditorium, on a beautiful stage, standing on that red dot, telling a story about masks. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't yet made your mask, you can do that at millionmask.org. That's millionmask.org. And we look forward to you being a part of this journey with us in 2025 as we tell more stories around the world. Happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you soon. Bye now. As a male educator at your school site, it can get lonely. Only 23% of K-12 educators in America are male. And just think about what this gender gap means for your male students. They experience disproportionate levels of discipline. This is a show for male educators who want to feel more understood by their community and want to create emotionally safe classrooms and schools for the next generation of male students. Welcome to Unmasking with Male Educators.
I am a mama's boy. Now, I don't know if anybody ever chooses to be a mama's boy. 3 months before I was born, my father died. So I would have much rather have been daddy's little man. But that was taken away. And my mom was all I had. So my mom really just took care of me. And I became mama's little boy. When I was 7 years old, after my second sibling was born, one of my uncles came over to the house and he said, well, Ashanti, now you're the man of the house. So you're going to have to take care of your mom, your sister, and your little brother. Now, I didn't think that he was giving me a suggestion. It was kind of like he had bestowed upon me this new title of man of the house. And I didn't really want it. Have you ever been given a responsibility that somebody said, you have to do this, but you didn't necessarily feel that you wanted it or that you were ready for it? Like normally when my uncle gave me advice, he would give me some steps. Okay, first you do this, and then you do this. But this advice, he just dropped on my lap. And then he left. And so I began to figure out, okay, I gotta be a man. It sounds better than being a little boy. But there were some conflicts involved. And many times in my life, mama's little boy and man of the house had a battle. And there was no battle bigger than when I was 17 years old. I was on my way to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I was a senior in high school, just got home from wrestling practice, very hungry. And I go into the kitchen to look for some food, and I hear my mom and her husband arguing. Now, they always argued, so I didn't pay much attention to it. But I heard my mom say something that was pretty devastating. She said, I wish you would. Now, that statement, usually I had tested her out, and I wish you would. But for my mom, I wish you would actually didn't mean I wish you would. See, so what she actually meant was, you better not. So what happened in that moment, let me finish the sentence. She said, I wish you would put your hands on me. And so I just jumped into action. I ran around the corner to where the room was. And at that time when I turned the corner, I saw my mom hit the floor. And all I knew was that I had to act. So I ran in. I was going to attack this man. But he was bigger than me. He was stronger than me. And I was being choked. And he was asking me, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And I really couldn't do anything because I could barely breathe. But when he let me go, I ran out of the house. I drove around the corner, and I got a gun. I drove back to my house, and in the time between me opening the door of the car and grabbing the paper bag, I saw the porch of my house. And the porch looked like the front page of the Oakland Tribune. I saw my mom standing on the porch crying. I saw myself being marched down the stairs in handcuffs. And the headline was something like, college-bound senior, college-bound athlete, life over. And in that moment, I cried. Like in that moment, I was really clear that I was supposed to act. But I wasn't really angry. Like deep down, I was feeling sad. I was feeling afraid. And I was feeling helpless. Like I was sad that I wasn't strong enough to go in and with my own bare hands support and save my mom. I was afraid that there was like an enemy in my house. And I felt helpless, like I didn't even know where to go next. As I sat in the car trying to figure out who should be in charge right now, the tears flowed down my face. And I realized that this belief of who I was supposed to be as man of the house, who had clear definitions of what rules that I was to play by, was about to destroy my life. So I fast forward. I graduate high school. I go to college, civil engineering. I get a job. I make a lot of money. I start realizing that engineering is not what I want to be doing. I want to teach. I become a teacher. And the first year teaching, I'm failing. I'm failing because I'm trying to figure out why is it these young men in my class are not doing the work. It wasn't that they were having a hard time with the mathematics. It was that they were not even trying. And so I invited some young men to lunch. I said, you know what? I'll invite you to lunch once a week. I'll pay for lunch. Exchange for lunch, teach me how to be a better teacher. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll fix it. And when I realized from these young men that at this school is not cool. Like, you're not cool being smart. So they acted in ways that they felt they needed to act to feel cool. And what I learned from them in that moment was that they were wearing a mask too. Their mask of cool said, you can't be too smart because these people at this school don't like smart people. The mask they were wearing was so deeply connected to their face that sometimes they didn't even know it themselves. And so what we began to do is give them tools to break past it. Now, what we realized is that helping the young men break past their mask was only half the problem because we had to work on their parents, their teachers, the administrators, other people in the community. And so through our workshop, Taking Off the Mask, we began to give not only our young men space to have healthy conversations around what was going on in their life, healthy tools to deal with the life's problems when they come up, so that they can see a little farther. And through the Taking Off the Mask workshop, we have helped 6,000 people to have a space to take off the mask. Now, I'm only going to talk about a little bit of data. When we talk to adults in these workshops, we find that of adults who say on the outside of the world, outside of the mask, I show the world that I'm happy. 7 out of 10 of them say that actually, I can't tell anybody that I'm sad, I'm afraid, and I'm stressed. And these are adults. These are adults who have plenty of time in their life to practice how to deal with their own problems. They themselves are already clear that there are ways and that they can't show, and there's things that they can't talk about. Now for the high school students. For students in high school who say, you know what, I show the world that I'm happy. That's what I'm showing the world. 9 out of 10 of them say that actually I'm sad, afraid, and stressed. Imagine that. Imagine that we have a clear definition of what the world wants to see from us. Men, women, boys, and girls are really clear that the world wants to see certain things from me. And there are certain things the world doesn't want to see, so I hide them. I ignore them. And what we found is that when we give young people, older people, a space to deal with the real stuff, it allows your heart to come open. And when your heart can come open, you can find like what you're passionate about. And when you find what you're passionate about, that is the way to live a truly purpose-driven life. Now, imagine a community where young people can come together, have healthy conversations about the things that they're dealing with in their life without being judged, without trying to be fixed. Imagine young people having a space where they didn't have to resort to drugs and alcohol and violence and self-destructive behaviors like suicide to deal with the pain and the problems that come up in their life. What if young people had a place to go to do with that? What if you, adults, had a safe place to go to take off your mask and get real? To talk about what's really going on when no one is watching? What if you had a safe place to do that? What if that was possible? Wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah, we think so too. Thank you very much.